Welcome back. I'm Smikey. Today we're going to be working on my phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S20 5G. There's a few things that we're going to be doing. First thing is this screen protector. We're going to be changing that out, so that's not a big deal. It's cracked quite a bit. It's going to be getting a new case. You can see there's a welding mark right there. It's cracked. All the corners are coming off. The upper speaker was acting up, and the lower speaker is blown out. It kind of buzzes, so I'm going to be changing that out as well. I have never opened up this phone before, so we'll see how it goes. So let me show you some of the parts that I got. This is the new case. It's got a card holder here, and it's pretty bulky. We'll see how that works out for me. So that looks pretty beefy. You're supposed to be able to put a few cards in there, so that'll be nice. I ordered one new upper speaker and got 3, and they come with these cute little tools right there. That should be the lower speaker, again with the same tools. There's a gasket holding the front part of the phone onto the second, or to the back part of the phone, so that's the gasket that we should need. New screen protectors and some tools for working on the phone. So these look like little guitar picks, suction cup. That one looks like it'll come in handy. It's got a little hook there. And this also came with a free part that I didn't order. As far as I can tell, that is a charge port. But there are a lot of connectors on there, so I don't know if I'll be changing this out. We'll see once we get in. I want to do the screen protector first. The reason is I want as much rigidity on the phone as possible for taking off the back. Let's change out the screen protector first. Alright, that looks pretty good. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to heat the glue on this seal right here. But when we're doing that, we want to make sure that we don't overheat this. There are some heating plates that you can use. I don't have any, so I'm just going to be using a hairdryer to heat up the gasket, and then we'll get underneath the edge here and work it up. You don't want to work on the corners from what I read, because if you go right on a corner, you run the risk of cracking your screen. And from what I read, you want to heat this up until it's just hot enough that it's hard to touch. I want to quickly try and open this up. I think I've cooled down too much now. Well, it's off. That's what it looks like on the inside. This is your wireless charging pad here. So this is where the lower speaker is down here, and the upper speaker is underneath some components there. So I'm going to start disassembling this. Alright, I'm just going to disconnect the battery down here. We'll disconnect the wireless charging pad right here. I can pull back. You can see all the crap that I've got in the screen for the speaker. A lot of lint in there. Okay, well, I think from what I understand, this guy is actually further down, and then this one right here is underneath this. Looks like the wireless charging pad's got to come off. So just carefully work that back off. Okay. This is the old one, and that's the new one there. It's hard to pick up here, but that's a little screen right down here. It's completely full of lint. So this speaker just has two little contacts right there that just get pushed down onto these two little tabs there and there. So there's no reason that we can't put this back in. With these tiny little screws. back them up until you feel it click, and then run it down. Sometimes they can be going into plastic or other materials, and if you force it, you can make the screw go in, but it might go in crooked or it might make new threads. So always just put it in, back it up until you feel it click, and then run it in. And I'm just starting all of these a little bit, and then I will go around and tighten them all down evenly. Okay, this is all done. I'm going to leave the wireless charging pad off for now until we get into where the speaker is at. The SD card and SIM card are right here. They need to get removed. The one nice thing about this phone is that you can put in a memory card or an SD card, and you can have your SIM card in. We are just going to undo a few connectors off here. So that one, this guy over here, these two on this side, and then we should be able to lift this board up and out. Oh, there's one little screw right there, right here. Good thing we were just being gentle with that board, or else that could have broke. I don't see any more screws. It doesn't look like these cameras come up, or the cameras come with the board, so I'm going to disconnect these. Something here still. That's the front camera. And now the board comes up. That's what it looks like. Like the top filter for the speaker. I'm just going to make sure it's blown out. It does not look like this is the right upper or the correct upper speaker. I'll do a little more checking, but this does not look like the right one. So this passage here is all cleaned out. I'll put the filter back on. Well, we are not going to be changing this upper speaker because this looks like it's all part of this plate. So the charging pad would come off, but this is all bonded to this plate here. So the one I got looks like does not work on an S20, so I must have got the wrong one, or it was listed wrong or something like that. I'm just going to see if I can carefully remove the screen and just clean out any debris. I really noticed the speakers, especially this upper speaker, start to quit after I was in a very dusty area. Hard to tell, but right up there is a bunch of dirt and debris packed in. So I'm going to try and blow that out. That's about the best I can do on that. I'll try and put the screen back on. Now, something I forgot to do when I had this off was actually check to see if this charge port circuit board is easy to change. So I'm going to get that back out. I won't make you watch that. Okay, I've got that speaker off. This doesn't actually look that hard to change, so let's go ahead and replace it. Now, we've got quite a few components out, so it's going to be pretty critical that we remember where everything goes. When I forget something, you can comment down below on where it should have gone. So this white wire goes down to the bottom one. And then our red wire is the top one. And this is what we are dealing with. So besides this, I think we've got one little screw right here. That goes in there quite well. Now I believe this should just lift up now. Okay, so just wiggling it out, and it has come out. Pretty hard for you guys to see on this, but there's quite a bit of wear on the charging port, or the port down here, the USB-C connector. Finish matching this up, make sure it looks correct. It looks pretty good. Now I'm going to save all these old parts, at least until I make sure that everything works. Going back in. And that has fit down pretty well. I'm going to connect these back up. We're going to put our one screw back in. Connect our red wire to the top. bottom. Clicked in. This charging or lower USB-C board is in. I'm going to get the lower speaker back in. You guys have already seen that happen. Alright, we're back to where we left off. I've got the speaker back in. Let's go ahead and get this upper circuit board in. And get our forward-facing camera in. Now I've got one screw. I'm not 100% sure where it goes, but I know that if we put this plate on, it's going to be the screw hole that gets covered up. So it's not that one, that one, that one, or those ones. So it is going to be right down there in that corner, for those of you that remembered that. And for those that didn't, it goes right down there in that corner. This guy next. I am going to do the battery now. Try and get it oriented correctly before sticking down the bottom. We can lift this back up, get this last connector down. That is back together. The next thing we need to do is clean up the gasket surface here and the gasket surface on the back. Okay, I've got some isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips. Once I finish getting this gasket off, then we will try and remove all the sticky residue. Whatever they used as an adhesive, it is super strong. So let's go figure out how to get this guy on. This is the cutout for the screen, or for the camera. So So I think they're putting it on here first because I can't do it that way. Well, it's stuck on. Powering up. That's a good sign. So I'm not going to make you listen to the audio from my speakers into the camera. It's just going to sound crappy both ways. That's why I didn't show you the sound before, because before and after it would probably sound the same in the camera, but audibly the lower speaker was blown out and the upper speaker, especially after that dusty environment I was in, was rattling around. So I think we are good on here. I'll get this into the case. That's pretty bulky, but I think that'll be awesome. Well, the lower speaker does not work. The upper speaker now sounds great. I wish I would have checked that before I put the back cover back on, but I did not. The first thing that I'm going to do is take off this lower speaker and reseat it. Maybe it's just a seating issue because how it makes contact here is just pushing down onto these little pins. So there's no actual connector. So I'll reseat it first. If that doesn't work, then I will try my old lower speaker and see how that is. But just to show you here, let's go in. So that one is the upper.
Welcome back, I'm Smikey, and today we will be
And that's the lower. No sound.
These rims are...
So I'm going to turn off the phone here and then we will remove the speaker. Just going to make sure everything is actually seated for all the connectors. That looks good. I do see down here where it has made contact. So I'm just going to put this back in and we will try it again. Alright, let's power this up. Only the upper is working.
Welcome back, I'm Smikey.
So let's shut this down again. Now we did change this board down here, which had the charging port on it. So if I go back to the other speaker and it doesn't work, then I'm going to take that board out and try it again with my original speaker, making sure that that works, and then I can try the new speaker and make sure it works, because maybe it isn't this speaker, maybe it's actually the board that it pushes onto, because we have two little pins right here which push onto those little two pins for the speaker. So that's how it makes contact. So it could be a problem in the board, or actually in our new board, or in our new lower speaker. Old speaker going back on. No sound out of the
These rims are all
bottom,
2010 Ford Flex.
sound out of the
I
top.
have bought
So that stinks, but let's change out the board again and test it again. That was the new board. Put that over there. Here is our old board going back in. Okay, that's back in. And let's put down our old speaker and verify that. Top
Welcome back, I'm Smikey, and today
and
we will be refinishing my wife's
bottom.
rims. These rims are off a 2010 Ford
So that's pretty funny.
I have bought them as a second set of...
This guy was our problem. So now that I am actually playing it for you, I will let you listen to the top speaker and to the lower. Then once we're done that, we are going to put back in the new lower speaker and see if it works. So this is the lower.
for my wife's 2017 Ford Flex. And these rims that I bought have chipped paint, curb rash, not our doing, and scratches.
Don't know if you can hear that, but this one definitely sounds like the speaker's blown for the lower. So I'm going to turn this back off and let's do it again.
Welcome back, I'm Smikey, and today we will be refinishing my wife's rims. These rims are off a 2010
That sounds
Ford
good.
Flex. I have...
So we are done. I'm going to put this back down. Thankfully, I did have 3 of these gaskets. So I'm going to put this gasket on here. You guys have already seen me do that. That's not a problem. I'm going to spend just a little more time trying to get some of this old glue off. And what I will be using is this product here, Glue Gun. It works for adhesives. If it has any problems with the plastic, because this back cover is plastic, I will let you know. Obviously wearing gloves for that. But you guys have already seen me put the gasket on, so that's no big deal. Thanks for coming along on the repair experience. I thought it was going to be easier than what we experienced, but that is sometimes the process and the journey. So something on this board was not allowing the speaker to work. The new speaker does work. The old speaker is blown, so that will be going in the garbage. I don't really see too much of a point in keeping this. I might just keep it around just in case I break my charge port, but I mean, this was pretty cheap. This and the tools, I ended up going back and looking. This and the tools all came together. I think it was less than $15. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.